So for the previous episodes that we talked about with mainly Specna Arms, we already did the Flex line, and we already talked about the actual top tier, which is the Edge 2.0. So, in regards to today's video, let's see how the middleman can do. Today we're going to be talking about is the Specna Core rifles. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another episode on Airsoft Master. And today we're going to be talking about, just like we talked about, is the Specna Core rifles. Now, multiple variations that we have, such as like the PDW, my actual 3-gun recce styles, and also the Mark 18 setup that we have here, either in the two-tone tan or in the straight black. Now, let's actually talk about mainly is the common things you'll see around here, such as the rails itself, all the way to the barrels. Now, for things that you'll see in common between the core rifles, and to like in comparison to the Flex, is the rail itself is full metal, no matter what variations you'll see, such as the key mod variant for the PDW type, the MLOK and the recce style, and then at the same time the actual standard Picatinny for the actual Mark 18 or even the M4 setups. What that means in being in a full metal variant is it's going to be more durable and rugged compared to the actual receivers, such as in the polymers that you'll see on the rifles or even on the Flex lines. What does that mean in general? Well, the more durability that's on there, the more chances of you actually being more rugged with it, and at the same time withstanding any type of milsim operations or even playing on an airsoft field. But I digress. Now, the difference between certain of these rifles though is some of them will be more of a free float, or even at the standard, actually dependent on the front sight with being monolithic or not. But the best thing that they also have in common with everything else is you have so much space for all the accessories that you need, such as your foregrips, your PEC boxes, your lasers, your flashlights, or even your optics on the top end of the receiver. Again, something that you're going to need as a part standard as the airsoft player. In comparison to the receivers that you'll see for the Edge 2.0 with the core rifles, is you still have that reinforced polymer instead of the full metal types in regards to the actual rifle materials built there. But that doesn't change the durability on this rifle itself. Mainly, as I showed you guys in the last episode for the Flex series rifles, these are still as rugged and still takes the beating no problem on these guys. Now, just like your actual standard AR controls, it'll be on the left hand side to put safe, semi, and full auto. Now for my lefties, you're still able to do that with your left hand as well, with being also the magazine release on the right hand side. Another common feature that you'll see as well with the actual Specna Arms is you'll still have your QR code and serial number of your actual rifle line series. Let's go ahead and go more into the internals. Mainly that the gearbox is a full metal version 2 gearbox by Specna Arms, known as the ESA, also known as the Easy Spring Axis. But what does that work? Just like the Flex series, you're able to unscrew the buffer tube itself to easy to change out your FPS. Mainly like the same one that's already provided that Specna Arms will bring out, the CQB spring that you'll get inside to make it go right below 350 FPS. And again, it's just the easy setup with just unscrewing the buffer tube, removing it, taking out your change spring on there, and it's easy to play and just put it back together. To continue off on the gear sets, you still have is your standard 18:1 gear sets, as well to that your 18K motor in there. Now don't worry guys, you can always change it out to and upgrade it if need be, and other stuff is also compatible. Now let's actually get into the differences basically on the back end of the rifles, mainly is the stocks themselves. Of course, some of the rifles you'll see has traditional mod stocks, as well to that being the 6 positional systems. While on one of the models is the PDW setup, is the nice PDW stock that you see here on the setup. Basically is your standard brace and the buffer tube system for to put your actual batteries. Now I do like this style more because it reminds me of in that one campaign mission on Modern Warfare 2 when Ghost was in the canyons and he had this PDW style system on here. But I will say, again, in regards to the other rifles though, it's still nice to have that battery space like traditional soft mod stock, so you can actually fit the bigger style batteries.
Sorry guys for the technical difficulties on the video, but let's continue off by showing how to reveal your rotary style hop-up by pulling the M4 charging handle, which shows your Specna Arms hop-up chamber, and as well to that's basically comes with is a 603 Type 4 inner barrel depending on the size of your barrel length. Now, in regards to magazine compatibility on this part of the section of the video, one thing we notice is that for mid-caps wise, the EPM ones, the EPMs, and as well as that the Lancer Tactical mid-caps and the GMP Frog magazines will feed. Now for high caps, we would just recommend in regards of using the Specna Arms high cap magazines that will feed just fine. And now let's go on to the video with the original audio.
So, after when we chronoed these rifles, and we've seen on other rifles as well, the average FPS we're seeing is around the 370 to 400 feet per second with the outdoor spring fields. If you want to use it for indoors, again, you are provided with the Specna Arms 90 Springs to make it more on the below the 350 FPS. So, when you basically buy one of the Specna core rifles, it's going to come in this actual core setup itself and in this clean gray box. But let's get into it because we don't really care about the box, we care what's inside it. Now, first thing that comes to mind is when you open it up, is it comes out with the instruction manuals on here to basically do your safeties as well as that the maintenance to help keep your rifle clean and operational. And of course, what can be a hard flex again, we talk about the stickers that it has, and also your model rifles that you got. As well as you have your catalog of any other future products that you'll see from Specna Arms themselves. But let's get into the nitty gritty of the parts that we've seen. Of course, you have your cleaning rod, as well as that to help clean up and also unjam any BBs. The good old 90 springs to help keep it indoors, CQB friendly. Your high cap magazine itself that holds about 300 rounds. And the rifle itself. Also, certain rifles will come with different types of accessories, such as this one for the Mark 18 comes with the vertical foregrip. So, now we're at the final thoughts on what I think about the Core Series rifles. Well, let's go ahead and talk about one thing that's important is the price range that we've seen for what's displayed out here. Now on average during the time of the recording, you're seeing these prices about being $189 all the way to about $220. Again, what's nice about the Cores itself is it's right in between the Flex and the Edge 2.0 series, such as what does that mean in the consumer themselves? Well, the middle ground has basically the stuff that you want in between, just like it's stated. You have a full metal rail itself, a polymer receiver as well, and at the same time the standard gearbox, which makes it easier for you to put any other customizations of parts that you would need, such as a gate tighten or even to change the gear sets. But either way, the whole options itself and as well to that customization is your own aspects. I mean, what would you do to this rifle? Comment down below, and then if you want to see any other products, check out airsoftmaster.com. My name is Mike. I'll see you guys on the next episode.
This video is brought to you by Airsoft Master.